Well, g'day there, traders and friends right around the world. Thanks for joining me on this Thursday afternoon market recap. I have a couple of stocks which I want to refresh and go over moving forward into the weekend. The reason why is because today, on a couple of stocks at least, we've seen an explosive move to the upside, which has come as a little bit of a surprise. Now, the good thing about the way we teach and trade, of course, the markets is that we use these things called contingent orders. And what that means is we effectively ensure ourselves, or we guarantee that we're going to get triggered into a position even if we didn't expect it to occur. So if you have a look at the daily time frame of Facebook, you can see that's been in some form of an ugly consolidation. It's been moving sideways. Over the weekend, we came into the trading week and we had two trade triggers on this particular stock. One at $71.92 to the downside. We had a second entry at $78.83 to the upside. Facebook today, for whatever reason it chose to, it rallied up $2.71 in comparison to the average daily volatility. That is quite a considerable move. You can see this very nice large Morobozu white candlestick to the upside, really indicating that Facebook potentially is going to assume its long-term weekly and monthly bullish trend continuing to the upside. So you can see that we had an entry here at $78.83. Our initial target is at $81.87. I'm going to pay very close attention to what Facebook does in Friday's trading session, and over the weekend in that pro analysis class, I'm going to give everyone an update as to how we can best enter into Facebook moving forward. If unfortunately you didn't have that open criteria or that open contingent order at $78.83, a very big move in Facebook today. Now let's move into another stock which is really moving the way which we expect it to. It is largely Google. Google has broken above our $547.30 entry. You can see that we're forming some form of a double bottom. You can see right here, that's what we call a double bottom. Now, what makes this even more interesting is that we've set up a most recent higher swing low. We've broken out of this resistance level right here, and generally what happens is, I've made this very clear, is that we come back down and we retest the pivot. It acts or it holds as new support, and then it is very strong base at least to bounce off from moving forward. Now if you have a look at the daily candlestick of Google, you can see right now we've had some form of a very controlled pullback. This looks very reminiscent of what we call the bull flag. Today we were up $3.80. We're pretty much back at our original purchase price. This is looking quite healthy. It's really primed to move higher. At the moment, if you are in Google, I'd encourage you to place your stop about 538. That factors in a little bit of volatility. Going back to Wednesday's trading session, a very good chance that Google is going to continue as expected up to these higher levels and higher targets which we've spoken about in that pro analysis class. Netflix today continued its uptrend intraday. It came very close to hitting our 482.30 target. The high of today's candle came in about $481, so we're about $1.30 shy of our target. If you're still in Netflix, which I suppose many of you are, you've got a couple of choices. Our original entry was here at $464. At the moment, we've made about $10 of intrinsic value. You have the opportunity to place your stop right above the low of Thursday's candle. Yes, this is what we call a little bit of a gravestone doji. It is somewhat bearish because of that upper week. It's almost a shooting star as well if you factor in a little bit of a real body down here. So we have mixed signals on Netflix, very close to our target. Just lock in the profit and make sure that you ensure that this Netflix trade remains profitable. Moving into Twitter today, whoops, I just pushed the volume button. Twitter today had a very nice bullish candlestick. You can see we had an original entry going back to Friday last week, breaking the swing high of this gap, or this earnings gap, about $48.73. Today we closed right on that level. We're at a break even on this Twitter trade, but it is very nicely poised to break out and continue in the direction of the earnings announcement or the earnings gap. You can see that really we've just been waiting for the 10, the 20, and the 50 exponential moving average to come somewhat closer to price. When I reference that, it's more so the 10 exponential moving average. Although price hasn't touched it, it is definitely recognizing the fact that it's getting closer, and in anticipation, people are starting to buy the price of Twitter at the moment. So this stock is looking quite healthy also. Rounding out a few other stocks which we follow, Apple today had a little bit of a doji. Let me zoom in so you can see this. It's a very small candlestick. We entered into this at 120.96 on the breakout of this resistance level. Very profitable trade. Original stop was 125.35 coming into the trading week, but since then it's just continuing to make high lows. You can see that Tuesday session we had a higher low. On Wednesday we had another higher low, and on Thursday we've had, pardon me, another higher low. So again, you've got decisions to make. How high do you want to bring up your stop? Do you want to move it from that location there up to 128.19? That's your decision. Just remember that we do have a target up here at 129.90. Amazon today had a pullback. It's come back up. It's hit our second target at 381.71. There's no real information that I can really give you, or new information on that particular trade. Barbar's flat, so is Caterpillar. Caterpillar is quite flat, coming close to somewhat of a bearish move. FAS today actually pulled down a little bit. We came very close to our target on Tuesday. I'm still expecting to see higher highs in FAS. I'm just waiting for the overall markets to break out and continue higher. I've referenced Facebook, referenced Google. GoPro today is just still sitting flat. You can see why I did not want to trade this long term in the bullish direction in any of this area right here. I told you it was going to slow down. Exactly on Wednesday we saw that clear rejection, and we're back right at that trading location over the weekend. Just sit tight. This is going to give us a better entry. Halliburton had a pretty decent gap down, but there are people trying to buy and hold the strength of Halliburton at the moment. Again, it's an aggressive entry at 44.64. Personally, I did not place the Halliburton trade. I made that very clear to people in that class. The reason why is it's counter trend, and it's against the downtrend in the price of crude oil at the moment. So that's a pretty decent recap of Thursday's trading session. The markets really tried to sell off intraday. We're still looking at these very important key levels as support. Dow Jones still hasn't broken above it. Having said that, it still hasn't broken above this old December swing high. We're still paying attention to that. When we have a look at the S&P 500, yes, we've broken above the all-time highs, and we are holding these levels very, very nicely. I'm paying attention to this 2075 level. Also, the 10 exponential moving average. If price tries to retest it, I'm expecting a bounce and a continuation in the bullish trend, so there's nothing really to worry about. And really, of the three markets, the Nasdaq is the market which continues to move higher. We had another entry at 4,911. This is going to be a mad dash. It really will be. Let me just bring it up so you can see this. Let me just bring up my template. I'm going to change to the monthly, just as I try and navigate my keyboard right here. It's really going to be a mad dash up into this wick going back to 2000. Once we hit this level, expect the Nasdaq to slow down. So target 5,105. We still have a little bit further to go. You can see right here, you know, give or take a few points. Nasdaq, I do believe, will hit this over the coming months. So have a great Thursday evening. At the moment, Australia is getting battered by two cyclones. One has just made landfall as I do this recording, a couple of 100 kilometers above where I am in Brisbane. So it's actually a category 5. It's the strongest type of tropical cyclone that there is on the scale, or on the bureau, which sort of rates cyclones in Australia. I understand for people in the United States, you call them hurricanes. They're more or less the same thing. Cyclones aren't as damaging as hurricanes, but they're still a bit of a scare around Australia at the moment, with winds in excess of 190 miles an hour, or 300 kilometers, and a lot of flash flooding and torrential rain hitting the east coast and also the northern territory of Australia. So have a look at the previous video. I put up a wind view of Australia just to show you where the cyclones are. So that's some major news going on where I am. Have a great Thursday evening. I'll see you all over the weekend in that pro analysis class. Stay safe for those of you in Australia watching this video. And again, I'll see you over the weekend. All the best. Goodbye.